Hello, everybody. My name is Dallas. Welcome to the Fantasy Football Outpost. These are our positional mock drafts where we do drafts from 8-team, 10-team, and 12-team leagues from every single position possible. We are now on pick number 8. Pretty standard roster build. One quarterback, two running backs, two wide receivers, one tight end, one flex, kicker, and a defense. We won't be drafting either of those last two because we wait and we only do 12 rounds, and this is PPR. This is probably going to be the fastest episode we have ever done, because I'm trying to get these all out for you guys before all the drafts get started tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday. So we're going to go ahead and begin the draft. Let's go ahead and start now. So now we're at position 8, which in an 8-team is the turn. Let's see what we get falling to us here. Le'Veon, and this is where things get a little bit difficult because I have to hold to my conviction, and I don't. A lot of people will disagree with this because they as you can see, the ADPs have changed dramatically. I still thoroughly believe in both of these players, and I'm going to take them both. And that is Juju, who is my wide receiver number 4 after Tyreek Hill, because I'm going off of how many points I think they're going to end the year with. And because of that, oops, let me pull this up real quick so I can actually see the chat if anybody hops in here. There we go. Pull it up. Maybe. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. We're all set now. And so basically, Tyreek Hill, I think, will finish the year as the wide receiver number 3 in PPR formats. But because of the roller coaster ride he takes you on, I don't like drafting him. I like taking Juju over that. So we're going to take Juju, and then we're also going to go take my RB7 and Joe Mixon. I think he's the next best talent on the board. I could hear the argument for Ezekiel Elliott. This is assuming Ezekiel Elliott is not here yet. If Ezekiel Elliott is back, he should go number 1 or 2. So I'm trying to stay realistic for those of you, because I don't like taking that risk. I'm gonna easy pick here, taking I took my running back 7 here because of how far he falls on ADPs. I can get my running back 8 right here. I don't understand why all of a sudden everyone just thinks he fell off a cliff and is terrible. I don't get that narrative at all. And so easy pick for us to go down here and also solidify Josh Jacobs. The reason I do that in 18 leagues, I say that in just about all of them, is if your running back 3 is good enough to be the running back 2 on at least one team, you're set. And I think we're able to do that here. And the reason for that is you're week in, week out, you're going to dominate. And on bye weeks, you're going to have a running back 1 and 2. You're not going to take a hit at all on your bye weeks. And so you're set just fine. So I absolutely love being able to get that stack right there. Here's where we're going to go ahead and solidify our wide receivers with Robert Woods. And let's take a look here. Easy money here. This is trade gold right here, being able to take Marlon Mack as late as the 6th round. That is ridiculous. He is going to be a top 12 running back this year. I have high hopes and high conviction with that. I truly think that's going to happen for him. He's a 3-down back, true workhorse now. And so now we're still able to catch the tail end of that tier on wide receivers for me with Tyler Boyd right here, and also get our tight end we like right there. This draft's going great so far from the 8th spot. I absolutely love this team. It's ridiculous depth, like ridiculous depth. You'll be starting. Well, I guess week 6 they have the same bye week, so I was about to say you'll be starting 3 running backs at all times, but that's okay though. I actually drafted Marlon Mack primarily to trade him to somebody who's struggling at running back. I mean, let's say Ezekiel Elliott doesn't show up and Leonard Fournette gets hurt and suspended. Hey, you want Marlon Mack? Yeah, sounds good. Go ahead and send me Brandon Cooks and, I don't know, Christian Kirk. Something like I said, you work trades out. That's the fun in it. I love being at the turn in an 8-team league. I think the 8 spot's one of the best ones that you can have. And I think the best is probably 7, just because you can turn right around. You pick one before them, and then you get the turnaround as well. So now we're looking at our team. We got a little bit more of a choice here to kind of take whatever we want. And I'm going to go down and take Curtis Samuel here. I absolutely love Curtis Samuel this year. I think he's going to thrive. I think we need to take another wide receiver to kind of solidify everything. So Robbie Anderson, looking at this board, is definitely the top one for me. I'm going to make sure that there's nobody I'm overlooking. Curtis Samuel's the one I take over him, but we don't have to choose. We can take them both. So taking Robbie Anderson as well. Hopefully, but he probably won't because of the running back just chain that goes off the board. Hoping Kalen Ballage makes it back, but I doubt it. And there you went, and that's fine. So now I only do 12 rounds, and here's where I typically take my quarterback. And because he's falling, we're taking Andrew Luck, and I'm going to explain to you why you can wait and perfectly be okay with that. He was the quarterback number 2 going into the offseason behind Patrick Mahomes. So, I mean, it's just silly not to take that. And so now we're going to go down and look at what depth we have here. One of my favorite wide receivers is still on the board. But before we jump ship on that, let's take a look and make sure there's no running backs that we really wanted. And the last two on the tier break for me was Kalen Ballage and Royce Freeman. Before you get to the Matt Breida, the Adrian Peterson, that kind of conversation, if we go down here and look, yeah, they're, as you can see, they're way down here. Devin Singletary is part of that as well. So you don't have to stress. You don't have to do anything like that there. So Andrew Luck's perfectly fine. We're going to take, I always like to take either D.D. Westbrook or Larry Fitzgerald. I think with that high-powered offense, how many plays they're running, you're going to strike gold with Larry Fitzgerald there. This is where I end them, but I'm letting it flow through to show you guys you can definitely wait and take your backup for Andrew Luck later. I've been taking Cam Newton every chance I can, but last night he had to come off the field in a walking boot. So if all that's fine, I say take Cam Newton right here. But if it's not, you got Jared Goff. We're going to end it right there, and we went one round further than we want to. And that was just to show you why you take Andrew Luck there. The reason for that is Andrew Luck, if he's hurt, who cares? Put Jared Goff in. You know, but if he's not hurt, you just got the quarterback number 2 going into the preseason. So I still don't get the ADPs on both of these players falling. I think some kind of narrative's been created, and both of them are dropped dramatically. I understand the James Conner hype. It's just one I've not agreed with. The Nick Chubb, the Dalvin Cook, Todd Gurley, I have them. I have Todd Gurley and Dalvin Cook tied as my running back 10 because I couldn't decide between the two of them. But Nick Chubb, I don't even have in my top 10. And that's primarily because the tail end of the year, if you're fully confident, like on this team right here, I would have been fine getting Nick Chubb because I still have these guys to back me up if come when Kareem Hunt comes back, things fall off the board. I hear the argument all the time, well, if he's doing great and killing it, they're not going to pull him out. I thought the same thing. I was the biggest proponent of that argument last year for, and he wasn't even on my team, for Alvin Kamara. Running back 1 in fantasy football those first 4 weeks that Mark Ingram was suspended, absolutely ate. And I said, Mark Ingram's not that talented. When he comes back, they're not going to mess up a good thing. Mark Ingram comes back, scores more points than Alvin Kamara that week, and everybody started hitting their panic button on Alvin Kamara. But he ended up being fine, of course. But that's my point is the Browns are a Super Bowl poised team this year. That whole roster is constructed for a win-now situation. Kareem Hunt is somebody that can pass, is amazing in the passing game. Now, if Nick Chubb gets good in the passing game, completely ignore this argument. Nick Chubb absolutely earned his spot in that top. But because he's not that great in the passing game at all, you're going to want somebody on the field where the defense has no idea what you're going to do with him. And that, with Kareem Hunt, he's an amazing runner and he's an amazing pass catcher. So when he's out there, it throws the defense off because you can do anything with him. And so for a team that's trying to win, they're going to do everything they can to win. And if that means throwing in a gadget guy that's going to be able to mix things up, they're absolutely going to do it. So that argument that Nick Chubb has his job locked if he's doing great, I just think it's silly. And I don't think he's worth going there. I have him. I'd probably draft him just after Carry-On, if I'm being honest. I think Carry-On's got a little bit of a better shot to solidify throughout the year, but I completely hear the argument taking him over Carry-On, but right there's where I have him at. I do not have him as early as he's going. So Joe Mixon's still my running back 7. Damian Williams, Darwin Thompson hype train is like none I've even seen. It's bigger than the Chris Godwin one here lately. It's enough to make Damian Williams fall to a 3rd round, 4th round pick. I absolutely love it. Keep it going. The later I can take Damian Williams, who is my running back 8, the better. So I'm perfectly okay with that. Nothing's changed for him. I think like he dropped one pass, and everybody's like, "Yep, this is the end." If Darwin Thompson, if you want to feel more comfortable at this, take you Darwin Thompson wherever he's. I don't even know where he's going, honestly, at this point. Right here, Darwin Thompson. Looks like we could take him on our next one. Just back it up with that if you really need to. But I see Darwin Thompson taking Carlos Hyde's job every now and then, getting in a little bit of the passing game. I do not see him taking Damian Williams' job at all in any scenario. So just to kind of solidify the argument here, Joe Mixon, Damian Williams, and rounded it out with Josh Jacobs. I always try to make sure my flex is good enough to be someone else's running back 2. Let's go look. Saquon Dalvin, he's not good enough to be the running back 2 there, but if Melvin Gordon doesn't show up, they're running back 3 is Tevin Coleman. So either way, you're good. Christian McCaffrey, Nick Chubb, Mike Evans, David Montgomery. So we're looking at Christian McCaffrey, Nick Chubb. I do think Nick Chubb is better than Josh Jacobs, but Josh Jacobs could finish the year as a top 10. So we'll see how that ends up going, but I definitely have Josh Jacobs being better than David Montgomery. I won't say definitely, that's a close one, but Todd Gurley, Devonta Freeman, I like Josh Jacobs better than Freeman. He's a running back 2 there. All I need is that one team to make me feel comfortable with that, and we're golden. David Johnson, Chris Carson, I have him as a running back 2 there. Aaron Jones is this guy's running back 1. I have Josh Jacobs over Aaron Jones. He'd be a running back 1, and he's my running back 3. Makes you feel a lot more comfortable with the picture taken here. Our wide receivers, Juju Smith-Schuster and Robert Woods, absolutely love the fact that we were able to do that. The biggest steal in the draft was Marlon Mack here in the 6th round. That is absolutely a trade piece. That's all I'm using that for. If somebody goes down and gets hurt, even better. Well, not even better. I don't want that to happen. But if somebody goes down, Marlon Mack is there, and I'm perfectly okay with. But Marlon Mack, guess where he's going? Right here to this guy, who's got Aaron Jones as his number 1. I'm absolutely sending that his way. And you're just going to, if he doesn't bite on it, somebody else will. It's too much talent. You sell him when he goes off for 30 points one week, and you're perfectly okay because you got all these other guys. Or if it looks like he's going to kill it better than Josh Jacobs or Damian Williams, you sell one of the other guys. You constantly look to improve your team because the most important thing is making the playoffs, and the second most important thing is having an absolutely stacked roster when you get there. And so that's why I'm perfectly okay with that. Got my tight end number 4 as our tight end here in the 8th round. It's ridiculous. And then we solidified our wide receiver position by getting Tyler Boyd. Curtis Samuel's one of my favorite potential breakouts this year. We'll still have to see. Still the wide receiver 2, but I like him better than where does he go? DJ Moore right here, which is they're getting closer and closer in picks, but 1 round apart. And then Robbie Anderson has, I think, big breakout potential this year as well. Larry Fitzgerald's just going to be a PPR monster like he always is. We solidified our Andrew Luck pick by taking Jared Goff. So move on to the reason I spent extra time on that is so I don't really have to explain my Joe Mixon, Damian Williams picks because I see that happening a bunch in all 3 of these. So let's go ahead and resume and pull this back right here. Start another one. Change it to a 10 team. Go. Let's claim that 8 spot. Go ahead and begin. See what falls to us here. And like I said, I expect to have to take Joe Mixon in the first because of the way the running backs typically go off the board. But in this case, give me Le'Veon Bell. Absolutely. I can't believe he fell. So taking Le'Veon Bell every day of the week there. Easy pick. You guys are just continuing to make it too easy for me by taking Juju Smith-Schuster here. I love the fact that Juju's ADP is where it's at. He's going at like the wide receiver 5 or 6, and I have him at the 4. In that 5 or 6, that 1 or 2 extra spots, usually these aren't quite a straight line. You see them knocking everybody down a little bit further. But perfectly okay with that. Let's see what gets to us in the 3rd. Josh Jacobs right here, easy pick. I'm always solidifying my running backs over my wide receivers. I know Adam Thielen's sitting right there, so I could hear the argument, but the problem with that is when it gets back to us, we're looking at our 3rd running back being Sonny Michel, which could actually be perfectly fine, but we're missing all these other guys that we really like, so we're going to take a Josh Jacobs right here, take kind of whatever they decide to give us as our running back 3 here. Looks like it's going to be, well, we got a little bit of a choice here. You got Chris Carson, Marlon Mack, and David Montgomery. So that's actually a really difficult decision for me. I do have David Montgomery behind both Chris Carson and Marlon Mack. These two, it's kind of a toss-up. Let's see what they think they'll do. 229 versus 214. Honestly, I think there's less risk with Chris Carson just because if Andrew Luck goes out, I do think that Marlon Mack doesn't see a hurt from it. But there is a scenario where if Andrew Luck's not there, the entire offense is worse, and they start stacking the boxes instead. But I think Jacoby Brissett is talented enough to where you're fine even with that. So Marlon Mack's risk is not a big one, but that teeny tiny risk there has me taking Chris Carson over him, and we're going to solidify our running backs with that and hopefully get one of the tier guys that we like here, the tail end of that being Tyler Boyd. but hopefully we get one of our guys, wide receiver wise, come back to us. I love that Cooper Kupp's worked his way up into this because he just does nothing but push somebody else further down. Wow, Tyler Lockett went, Chris Godwin went. It's really unfortunate, but the last one of that group is still here, and it's Tyler Boyd. And it looks like we can actually wait on him. We're going to take a risk here and wait because I love the fact that Sonny Michel's still sitting here. So we're going to take Sonny Michel here. You could, if you're a Kenny Golladay fan, take him there. I'm not in any world. I can't stand Kenny Golladay. I don't think he belongs in a conversation with any of those. So we're taking Tyler Boyd here. Perfectly content with that. Like I said, that group, that tier that I'm talking about starts with Julian Edelman, Amari Cooper, Adam Thielen, and Diggs. T.Y. Hilton's just an outlier. He should be higher if Luck's here, but if not, I don't plan on drafting him. And then it works its way down into the Robert Woods is also towards the top of that tier. Then it works its way down into Brandon Cooks and Stephon Diggs, Tyler Lockett, Chris Godwin, and then I don't have Cooper Kupp in that group. I tail it off with Tyler Boyd. That's a whole wide receiver group there that I'm perfectly content with. So now we do need to solidify wide receivers. I love the fact that I can, anytime I miss and have to take Tyler Boyd, I always turn right around and make this pick here, and that's Alshon Jeffrey. He should not be falling this far, but he is. Oh, Curtis Samuel and Robbie Anderson going hurts. I wanted both of them. So now it looks like we can kind of wait and take another. See, I don't know. Let's look. Let's look and see what we got. Christian Kirk, I like him this year. He shouldn't be as high as he is. Allen Robinson, same boat. Will Fuller, I'm not touching that this early. Let's go ahead and keep looking. Josh Gordon is an interesting pick. He's one that is probably going to end up being our pick here. Well, it doesn't think, never mind. It doesn't think DD's making it back to us, so easy pick there. I'm going off of their algorithms. Read your league and see if they even know about people like that. If they don't, then great. If they do, then you probably should take that. I like D.D. Westbrook better than all of them in that group. Now that it came back around to us, sitting here in the 9th round, Cam Ballage is still sitting in our laps. See if we can also get Larry Fitzgerald. We can. Let's make sure that's what we want to do. Looking around, absolutely looks like what we want to do. Now, an interesting pick here is Vance McDonald because he fell to the 10th. Been going as early as the 7th round. He's earlier than Jared Cook. So that's something you can entertain here. He's kind of, in this situation, it's probably actually the route I'm going to go instead because typically he goes too early. This is where I like taking him when he wasn't on the hype train. The fact that he fell, I think, makes it a little bit, I can sit with that a little bit more comfortably. So we're taking him. In most scenarios, we are not taking Vance McDonald because he is just too expensive. Everybody wants him in like the 6th and 7th round. Not 6th, but like 7th, 8th round. If I can get him in the 10th, 11th round, I'll take it. Now we're looking, and right here is where I would take our, we can wait because we missed on the quarterbacks. Gosh, Cam Newton went early. We missed on the quarterbacks that we wanted, so we're going to go ahead and take Devin Singletary right here, the Nick Chubb of this year, in my opinion, and wait and hope we can get Jameis here. We can. Let's go ahead and snag up Jameis Winston, and that is going to be the end of this one. Let's go ahead and pause. Look and see what we got with perfectly content. Jameis Winston is my quarterback 9 in a 10-team league that is still quarterback 1. And now we're looking Le'Veon Bell, Josh Jacobs, Chris Carson. Is Chris Carson good enough to be the running back 2 on a team? First glance, there's 2 teams right here. Running back 2 is Tariq Cohen. Running back 2 is James White. Good enough to be their running back 2 on both of those. We don't even need to keep looking, going through them all. He's good enough to be the running back 1, in my opinion. I have Devonta Freeman right after them. And but Marlon Mack's on the same boat as him there, so they kind of solidified it. Damian Williams, not the running back 1, but definitely the running back 2 over him. Saquon and Miles Sanders, yeah, running back 2 there. Yeah, I'm perfectly content with that. Juju Smith-Schuster, Tyler Boyd. You may look at that on the surface and be like, Tyler Boyd's your wide receiver 2. That's okay. We solidified it with Alshon, D.D. Westbrook. I'm perfectly content with that. Was going to take Larry Fitzgerald as well, but we were able to get Vance McDonald in the 10th, who is my tight end number 6 after O.J. Howard, but he's going way earlier than I like him to, so I usually end up missing out on him. And so, got him in the 10th round. Absolutely love that. Going down, Sonny Michel. Here's where, if we look at the list here, let's see where he's going. We might be able to wait. Yeah, we can wait 2 rounds and then take Damian Harris and lock up that Sonny Michel pick and make him perfectly content. Alshon Jeffrey, D.D. Westbrook, Kalen Ballage, and Devin Singletary. Huge potential between those 2 right there. Go ahead and zoom in that draft. Bust out the 12-team real quick, and then I got to go to work. So we are trying to finish this quick. I said this is going to be the quickest episode of all of them because I am in a bit of a rush. But at this point, I know who I like, I know who I'm taking, and so, let's pause. Go ahead and draft settings, draft order, move me down to the 8th spot. Alright, resume. Got to pick my team. Alright, so this one's going how a draft should go if Elliott's here. So let's see what falls to us. Easiest pick in the draft. Devontae Adams at the 8th. That's just too easy. Back it? I think we do. The next best on the board is Juju. We're going the double stack route. This is one where our running back 3, it's going to be very difficult to make it a running back 2 on another team. So we just kind of see what we get and what falls to us. So chances are it's not going to be the case in this one, and that's okay because of that ridiculous powerhouse stack of wide receivers we got there. DeAndre Hopkins, Odell's kind of right there in that same boat. So we're looking here. Josh Jacobs, the best one on the board, in my opinion. We're going to turn right around and secure it up with Chris Carson right here. Love it. I would take Aaron Jones if he's fully healthy, but he's literally not even carried a ball this offseason in the preseason. He's carried it in practice, but it's just too risky for me to reach that high on somebody like that. Let's see what comes back to us. Can we get Sonny Michel? Yes, we can. And that's who we're going to take. And there we go. That is exactly how you still lock things down. Sonny Michel is good enough potentially. He's the running back 2 on this team right here. And like I said, I just need the one solid confirmation. And we got it. We're perfectly okay with that. He's running back 2 on this team too over Philip Lindsay. So we came out of it. We're getting Tyler Boyd as our wide receiver 3 in this one, so it's even better. Let's go ahead and snag that. Let things roll through. We were able to capitalize. That actually ended. Oh man, I messed up. There's 10 teams, isn't it? Dang it. That was a good draft though, the way it was going. Ignore that. Well, or don't. That more tips for how to start the 10 team on. Go ahead and change this to 12 teams. Claim our 8th spot. Again, that was what a rip. So let's see what we get here. Let it flow through. See what we get. See, like I said, it's so hard to pass on this. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to show you guys the Ezekiel Elliott strategy if you end up having to take them. We'll go that route. It's a very difficult one, and one that you got to be careful on. So Juju went, making this easier for us to go the route that we wanted to go because of taking Ezekiel Elliott. We still got, because of the ADPs falling, we got the running back 7 in my opinion, and we may go triple stack if it comes to us. I don't think it will. Yep, it just flew off the board. That is okay, so now we're going to go ahead and take, oh man, the best wide receivers all the way down here. Yeah, that's easy to go ahead and do 3 running back stack right here with Josh Jacobs. Our running back 1 and 2 is Joe Mixon and Josh Jacobs if Elliott's gone. That's okay because I'm going to show you how we're going to go this route. Our wide receivers are going to be a little bit lower, so you want to get these boom guys like Robert Woods. You want to make sure it's somebody that can actually explode and go off. We did have to go 3 running backs straight, and that's okay. That's kind of a little bit of what you kind of have to do if you're taking Elliott. If Elliott works out, your team's ridiculous. This is just stupid. Having all 3 of these running backs, that's ridiculous. Tyler Boyd still fell to us. We're able to get 2 guys out of that tier group. I'm perfectly okay with that. So let it loop back around to us here. And now we're looking. Mike Williams is there. Alshon's there. Like I said, I don't understand why Alshon falls in all of these, so I'm taking Alshon here. We were able to end up climbing out of a hole. Now, unfortunately, both these have week 9 bye week, so we're gonna have to fix that. That's okay. So we're going to let it flow through, see who comes back to us. Oh, Curtis Samuel just went. He's the one I was really, really hoping for. And so, as you can see here, Vance McDonald's lined up to go in the 7th round. It's just ridiculous. I don't think that should be the case in anywhere. So here we're going to look. Josh Gordon, we're taking... No, we can't. Yeah, we can, actually, because we're needing somebody else to help because they share the same bye week. And that's okay if these 2 share the same bye week because it's kind of a back and forth kind of thing. So we're going to take Josh Gordon with the shot that he may end up working out and being great. And so we're perfectly okay with this and really, really hoping... Yes, he did. Okay, good. Kalen Ballage fell to us here. I love the team. We were able to crawl out of a hole, taking Elliott first. If Elliott's there, great. If he's not, we're still perfectly fine. And that's why I do this, to show you what you want to do in this scenario. And let's go ahead and take a look and see about where that goes. Okay, it'll be our last pick to kind of explain to you where we go with this. So in round 9, here's where I'm going to go ahead and take Jared Goff as our quarterback. Perfectly okay with that. He's my QB 8. Getting him in the 9th round is absolutely perfectly satisfactory. See what falls to us here in the 10th. Take a look a little bit. Take a step back and look and see what we got here on the board. Looks like, yeah, Devin Singletary went early last round. So I was about to say that's where my eyes were going, but that's okay. So here we're just going to keep solidifying that wide receivers because of, like I said, we got all depth at this point. And so let's go ahead and go down and take. Did we get Alshon? We did. Okay, so hold on a second. I was going to say take Deshaun Jackson here, but because we got Alshon, I don't want them both. It looks like we may actually go running back here because of the next best wide receiver we can grab right here in our next pick. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to take Adrian Peterson here and live with it and be perfectly happy with it. Let that fly through. Again, our depth is just ridiculous at this point, and we were still able to lock down a very, very solid team going the Ezekiel Elliott strategy. I've not done this in a mock draft yet, and so it's pretty interesting to see how things play out by going this route. So we're going to go down, take Tyrell Williams here, and then this is how, depending on your league, if they know you're doing this, then you want to take the guy I'm about to take earlier. But right here, this makes everything okay. You draft Tony Pollard, and you're fine. Now, if for some reason Ezekiel Elliott sits out for a lot longer than you thought, you're perfectly okay with it. Now, we're going to go ahead and show you in 12 teams my tight end strategy. I usually go one more round just to show you all 4 of the tight ends that I look for in every single draft. And then in order would be Mark Andrews, Greg Olsen, Jordan Reed, and Kyle Rudolph. They all go right here in this round almost always. We're going to take my top one, and that's Mark Andrews, and we're going to go up and end it right here. Look at our roster. If Elliott's there, this team's ridiculous. So Jared Goff as a quarterback, QB8 that late, perfectly okay with it. Ezekiel Elliott as he's my running back 2 if he's there. And he just got a massive deal offered to him too, so we'll see how that works out. Joe Mixon as our running back 2 on the team, and he's my RB7. And then Josh Jacobs right here as our flex. He was good enough to be the RB2 on like 3 teams. Perfectly okay with that. But because we took Elliott, Mixon, and Josh Jacobs our first 3, it did make us take a little bit of a hit on our wide receivers. But Robert Woods could potentially be a top 12 wide receiver this year. I think he's got a good shot at it. So there's our wide receiver 1. Tyler, he's kind of like the start and the end of that tier right here with these 2. But we had so much depth on it that we're fine. Alshon, he's a wide receiver 1 on his team. He's probably the second option on that team. So, but he's still going to be able to kill it. I get falling a little bit. I don't know why he's falling as far as he has. Josh Gordon, absolutely huge potential if he actually ends up playing and is okay. Kalen Ballage, monster potential. Adrian Peterson, I just think he's got the opportunity. Tony Pollard solidifies that Ezekiel Elliott pick. And then we got Tyrell Williams, who think he has baby Juju opportunity. I call it baby Juju because he's lined up opposite of Antonio Brown like Juju Smith-Schuster was, and he's going to eat. But I say baby version because he's not quite as talented as Juju. So it's not quite the Juju numbers we seen last year, but I think he's going to be significantly better. Absolutely love taking him anywhere I can get him in the sleepers. So this team, I am perfectly content and love this. We were able to crawl out taking the 3 running back strategy. I don't typically like doing that, but because of taking Elliott, we kind of had to, because if Elliott's gone, you just move Josh Jacobs up to here and Elliott out, and then you can look and see who else do we want at our flex. If one of these guys are killing it, Kalen Ballage is locked down his spot, or Tony Pollard you think is going to absolutely kill it in Elliott's position, you move any of them up to your flex and you're fine. So that first week's going to be hard to kind of decide, but you'll have a better grasp on everybody's roles come week 2 if Elliott's not there. So love this team as well. And go ahead and end the draft in this. Thank you guys so much for watching. That is going to be position number 8. We've only got 9, 10, 11, and 12 left. 9 and 10 should be even shorter because they're only 2 drafts apiece. And then 11 and 12 are probably going to be virtually 10-minute episodes. So that's going to be it because they're only 1 draft apiece. So that's going to be it. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to go to work, and I'm out of here. We'll see you.